àjókìá.
Máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti ibẹ̀ mà. Ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀gbẹ́ ayé àtijọ́ ni ọdún 1961 tí mo ṣe ìgbéyàwó.
Gègé ló wà sí. Àwọn tí ẹ kó máa lọ ṣe ń sì bí yẹn.
Àwọn ọ̀gá tí a máa ń ṣe fọ́nà ìyàwó ní ilẹ̀ wa ní ìlú ẹ̀bá yìí, àwọn ẹ̀bà ìyàwó àtijọ́ ni ìkámẹ́lẹ̀ tí wọ́n sọ wọ́n pé wọ́n lọ kọ́ pẹ̀lú láàrin wọn àwọn ọ̀gá máa ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí èso àti àwọn àbẹ̀rẹ̀ tó dà wọ́n. Lẹ́yìn náà, àwọn pàṣípọ̀ wa nípa tí wọ́n bàbá wa a dẹ̀ ní ọkọ́ tàbí rogo tí wà fi ń rí àwọn tó ta kẹ̀lẹ̀kẹ̀lẹ̀ dáadáa. Síbẹ̀ náà àwọn pàtàkì rí ọba ní ìwé a máa ń dáwọn ọkọ̀ tàbí jẹ wọ́n ẹ̀sì yẹ nìyí èkó ló wà ń lẹ̀yìn ká máa fi fẹ́ sí wọ́n lára máa dán ẹgbẹ́ púpọ̀ mọ́ I beg you.
to the areas provided for them. We appreciate the place to return.
Wasa, Cathedral and Brigade of Guards to take place at the 123 Guard Battalion Parade Ground. Time is 1 p.m.
to be here present to welcome you gives the clear signal of how proud we are with their performance and conduct during their stint in the ECOMOG operations. Although I am aware of numerous logistical failures that such display of commitment and sacrifice on your part has aimed Nigeria reflect within the African sub-region in particular, and indeed the world in general. I salute you all. Considering the short notice with which you were dispatched to Liberia, there may be perhaps some of you who have still not properly grasped the reason that informed our participation in the ECOMOG operations. It is for these few individuals and perhaps for the general information of the public that I find it pertinent to touch briefly on the involvement of our troops in the operations. Briefly, the mission you are just returning from is in line with the aims and aspirations on which the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, was created. In most specific terms, the ECOMOG operations was dedicated by decisions taken by the ECOWAS heads of state to that effect. During your stay in Liberia, I am sure you were more than convinced on the need for such decisions to be taken by virtue of the unnecessary mass destruction of lives and properties which you have witnessed in that country with such wanton destruction. I hardly need to convince you on the justification of our presence in Monrovia, if only to put a stop to the unfortunate experience that our country was going through. It is perhaps for this reason that you dedicated yourselves and sacrificed your lives to ensure that normalcy returns to that country, Liberia. I once again wish to commend your performance for a job well done in this regard. You have put in a lot of effort and sweat to perform at a commendable level. Through these, you have not only stopped the human carnage and ensured the gradual return of peace in Liberia, but you have also put a stop to the threat the situation in Liberia posed to the West African sub-region and by implication to the national interest of our country, Nigeria. This is no doubt an achievement on your part, and you should rightly be proud of. However, I would urge you to maximize the benefit of your efforts and sweat by ensuring that you share with your colleagues in the service the professional experience and exposure you have acquired from the ECOMOG operations. If you are able to do this, you would have no doubt made it possible for those amongst your colleagues that were not privileged to be assigned to go on the operations to benefit professionally from the operations. Moreover, by so doing, you would afford the Nigerian Army the opportunity to maximize its benefits from the operations. In effect, you could see exposure at the ECOMOG as a learning situation which must be passed on to your colleagues in the service. Now that we are back in Nigeria, I should perhaps briefly inform you about some of the happenings in the Nigerian Army since you left the country. You, on leave during my visit with you, to you in Monrovia on New Year's Day. This was because that visit had a different purpose. Briefly put, the major objective in the Nigerian Army today is to ensure the success and permanency of the federal military motorcycle and bicycle loans you all for your very months in the ECOMOG that left this country with you for the operations because they paid the supreme sacrifice of. I would also like that we are aware of how colleagues or lack of our colleagues pay such a supreme sacrifice. It is paid bravely and gallantly. We are aware that your colleagues that are not here with us today paid the supreme sacrifice bravely and gallantly. I think it is important for me to let you know of this. It is also important for me to emphasize to you that they lost their lives gallantly as soldiers in the service of humanity. Our prayer here is that may Almighty God make their sacrifice concretize the unity that has eluded most.
the President Ibrahim Badamasi. Your chief host of this occasion, Mrs. Ajoke Mohammed and the young Mohammed, our royal family, guests informally to our rural and the world of nature, God and man may and this be faithful, whose guts and whose energy inspired the weak. From the famed King's College, London, called on Miss Eminent Ladies and Gentlemen Gardens, Miss Aisha Mohammed, Sir.
Etc. in that he had a human side. A few years ago, many years ago when I was about 12, so rather young, we were talking in school as children, and I was telling my friends about a story my father told me, and about how at times he used to tell us jokes, and that indeed he had a very good sense of humor there for us. He was truly a great lover of nature. I remember distinctly the act that the trees grew was a reflection of the nurturing and care that it was. Rare birds, parrots, and so on. I remember there was this, and what's down here was actually forest, apart from a few palm trees, including the grass. I mean, this has...
Under the regional land use plan, we made some of these areas there. Under the regional land use plan, we made some of these areas there available to all the adoptees on a generous and easy time. This was with the hope that the gesture will encourage an increase in the area of land put to productive agricultural venture in the state. Thus, the Agricultural Land Holding Authority was then established to provide the institutional framework for the management, control, and supervision of all allocated agricultural land. Apart from her initial rain-fed food production efforts, she has invested heavily in sprinkler irrigation facilities for the production of food crops, fruits, vegetables, and varieties of flowers, seeds and seedlings of international recognition that could be a possible source of foreign exchange earnings. This botanical garden will definitely attract picnickers and tourists to this area. In fact, 3 days ago, we were having a discussion of maybe trying to have some part of this area being commercialized. There's no doubt that people of this locality will benefit very largely from this venture through the employment of local labor, particularly women. Improvement of the local labor by undertaking training on improved techniques of farming and floriculture. Construction of farm roads which will improve access to the hinterland. Interaction, general opening up of the area for other possible benefits of economic development. It is therefore gratifying to see how these gardens have exhibited efficient land utilization capability by putting what would have otherwise been idle wasteland and match land to food production and floriculture. Ingenuity in modern farming through utilization of swamps, streams, for irrigation and fish farming has been amply exhibited here. The efforts have indeed been directed to develop horticultural activities as a feasible economic venture. The experience of Mrs. Ajoke Mohammed, the proprietress of Naisa Garden for blazing the trade, which was not popular in Nigeria, is highly commendable. Back to Agricultural Land Holding Authority in the future. I wish to appeal to the generality of the people of the state to continue to cooperate with government in its efforts at providing land for production ventures. In conclusion, I wish to commend the people of this locality for their hospitality and cooperation with Mrs. Ajoke Mohammed in making this project a reality. I welcome Mr. President and his entourage, and at the same time, I congratulate Mrs. Ajoke Mohammed for this unique project designed to immortalize our very dear former head of state, the former Inspector General and the former Inspector of Signal.
He was the bird collector, the ornamental fish collector, and the water snake collector. Whenever he was working in the garden in the later afternoon, I would be out playing sports at the Koyi Club or badminton with Mrs. Fumibalaji Johnson. I could not stand the sight of manure or black soil.
As a witness to that sad event and as an actor in an effort to prevent the disastrous consequences it would have unleashed on this nation, we, the surviving ones, rose to the task to ensure the entity of the nation and the continuity of the new tradition that General Mohammed has initiated. We were thankful, and still are, that a nation which believed in what we set out to do stood firmly by the government and took support to our equally able General Olusegun Obasanjo so that there could be continuity. Our presence here at this dedication today is to salute General Mohammed and pay glowing tribute to his memory, who remain indelible. If our dream is to yield anything positive, we have a duty to keep this memory alive and to establish monuments as symbols of our collective will to stop the recurrence of such tragic events. In this regard, public memorials which attest to his heroic sacrifice for the nation have and will continue to have to be created as reminders of the ideals for which he fought and paid the supreme price. General Mohammed was, in his lifetime, an ardent lover of nature and had a keen interest in its preservation. It is therefore not surprising that his wife has chosen to dedicate a 25 hectare garden to his memory. This acreage of beautiful flowers, shrubs and plants, hitherto known as Naisha Gardens, is today being renamed in his honor. In addition, we intend to inaugurate an annual lecture series revolving around the major themes of the late Nigerian leader. These themes include environmental protection, public accountability and probity, the inculcation of democratic norms and values, the freedom and dignity of the black man, industry and efficiency, as well as the principles of self-reliance. I salute Mrs. Ajoke Mohammed for your courage and perseverance. I salute your commitment to the laudable ideals of your late husband. I salute you for your sincere efforts to keep the memory of your husband and his ideals evergreen in our memory. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today, 15 years after the untimely severance through death of a union found in God's love between our hero and his wife, it is fitting that she remembers him in this way, through her love of flowers and nature, which they shared during his lifetime, full of inspiration in our national development. Ladies and gentlemen, no amount of posthumous tributes accorded these late heroes can compensate for the blood he shed for the progress of this nation, or provide a substitute for his family. Rather, all our human efforts in immortalizing him are legacies in the annals of time for future generations to witness and emulate as symbols of selfless service to our nation. No greater love can be shown, or greater gifts given, than that which a soulmate gives to the other from the store of their shared passion and love. This love of flowers, which gave them a common tenderness and enabled them to share joys, reflections and moments of inspiration, decisions and actions, is not just a familial bond between husband and wife. Rather, it is more of a symbol of universal oneness and a symbol of man's affinity with his Creator. It is now my pleasure and privilege to rename these 25-hectare gardens Murtala Muhammad Memorial Botanical Gardens, and to also announce that the federal government will provide annual subventions for the maintenance and upkeep of this garden.
He's going to plant another one.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you, sir.
Nigeria, the special guest of honor here this morning, Admiral Augustus Aikomo. Another photo of roses for the Parliament side, the good side, another spray of flowers from the Vice President. We are sending him our love and our peace, and we hope that they will take it everywhere with them. Bouquets of flowers of roses, petals, pink fruit, and the Vice President, and Her Excellency Mrs. Babangida and all over, speak true, you have nothing but petals, love, peace, happiness flowing here today, and it's going to flow to all parts of the world. Nigerian children and children across the world are saying, we want peace, we love you. At the arrival of the Vice President, here today from all parts of the world. Can we allow you to see all the children, please, from all parts of the world that represent, they bring their peace from the different blocks of the world. Let there be love, they say. Let there be peace.
Refugees, members of ministers, members of the diplomatic corps, distinguished once again, it's with great pleasure when this special day for women, and this time with emphasis on women and world peace. There's a lot to be happy for, because Nigeria has enjoyed peace, and we pray we continue to enjoy peace. There's a lot to be happy for, because women is the bedrock. The chairman, National Commission for Women, Professor Bolanle Awe, to give.
The history of this celebration dates back to the year 1910, when a group of women from about 17 countries met in Copenhagen, Denmark, and demanded recognition for women as partners in the development of their various societies. The United Nations General Assembly put its stamp of approval on their demand with the Declaration of the United Nations dated for Women in 1975. This date, the 8th of March each year, has thus become one of the fixed dates on the United Nations calendar, and women issue a permanent item on its agenda. However, it is important to note that even before the formal declaration of a day for women, and by implication the recognition of their role, women have made important contributions to the development of their society, both through their productive and reproductive functions. In Nigeria, for example, women have for long been one of the mainstays of our economy, particularly in the area of agriculture and food production, as well as in trade and in commerce. The family, by tagging the day, the family day. However, as from 1987, the First Lady, Mrs. Maria Babangida, advised that the day be celebrated as an International Women's Day to ensure that the international character of the celebration is underscored, and this has now become the pattern in Nigeria. The National Commission for Women will, as from this year, assume responsibility for the celebration of this day and as enjoined by the United Nations General Assembly. Today, our theme is Women and Nigeria has
We therefore join other citizens of this world in the concern of hope of peace to reign, not only in the Middle East, but in other regions of the world where hostilities still exist. Past year, and indeed much of this year, has been a year of terror. It has been a period when peace has been bravely present in almost every region of the world. In some cities and towns, large postcards and graffitis with the inscription, "Women for Peace," has become a familiar sight. Are these mere slogans or empty rhetoric? Whatever it is evidently clear that more and more women are becoming involved in peace issues. They are areas which are crucial to life and death and affect both men and women alike. Furthermore, the grim reality that the world is at the brink of self-destruction and heightening the consciousness of women to raise their voice in an appropriate state. We do have a stake in our world, and therefore a duty to be part of those strategies which are inevitable great consequences today would reveal us. That is a world with different
peace alone means the men and women of the world. Please give a big round of applause. What else can we do now except like this? And then of course the pigeons.
Wá ti ṣe eléyìí náà ti tó.
We are the official occasion of the 1991 International Women's Day. It is recognized to note that March became as been set aside by the United Nations as a special day to honor women worldwide who focus the role of women in nation building and examine the various roles they play in all spheres of human endeavor. It would be recalled that when the United Nations General Assembly in its 27th session proclaimed 1975 as International Women's Year, it organized a war conference in Mexico City, and the objectives were equity, development, and peace. Later in 1985, in Nairobi, Kenya, women and men all over the world worked relentlessly together to produce a world plan of action on how women would achieve equity, development, and peace. The document, which emerged, was called the Nairobi Forward-Looking Strategies for the Advancement of Women in the year 2000. The paragraph 235 of that document, which states, I quote, "Universal and durable peace cannot be attained without the full and equal participation of women in international relations, particularly in the theme of this year's International Women's Day,
in this country, namely women at work age. This name could not have been better chosen because of its relevance in achieving international peace and security cannot be underestimated. And I'm glad that as mothers and wives realize the impact of lack of peace in our hearts, both in the environment. Your choice of this name demonstrates your concern at the absence of peace in the world. You have chosen this day to add your appeal to the leaders of the whole world to create and sustain an environment conducive for the upbringing of our children.
Polish them and align them in a manner that will enhance our prestige. Once again, I rejoice with Your Royal Highness Oba G.A. Sadiq and the entire people of Ekpe on this important occasion. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I wish you a very happy festival. Thank you and God bless.
On behalf of His Royal Highness,
sọ orí ìdílé ọba tuntun bẹ́ẹ̀ tó máa sọ orí ọba tuntun nígbà kátọ́ba tẹ́lẹ̀ ọlọ́dún ọ̀fẹ́fẹ́ kò ní kíkẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ sọ̀yà kò síbọ̀ fún mi sílẹ̀ ìdílé nígbà pọ̀ nígbà ọ̀fẹ́fẹ́ ìṣòro èmi àkọ́kọ́ ìsọ ní ìdílé tí mo sọ lọ́sẹ̀ yìí máa sọ nígbà rẹ̀ oníkẹ́ bá ti fún àtọ̀rọ̀ nígbà wọlé wọ́n kẹ́ ní máa ṣe ìdílé ẹ̀fà àjáwà òkú àtọ́ àti àpẹẹrẹ ìṣòro ẹ̀fẹ̀ àpẹẹrẹ lórí ajá àpẹẹrẹ rí bàtà àpẹẹrẹ bẹ̀ àtàwọn àpẹẹrẹ ọ̀hún bàtà àpẹẹrẹ bẹ̀ àpẹẹrẹ bẹ̀ àwọn òṣèlú rẹ̀ èyí dàgbà ní wọn bá túbọ̀ dàgbà sí èyí lè gbàgbà má dàgbà ìrọ̀rùn mẹ́ẹ̀fẹ́ ọdún wọn bá fún ara rẹ̀ ọba ẹgbẹ́ ní tó lárúgbà tó lárúgbẹ èyí á gbé ojú ẹ̀fẹ́ orí àtọ̀ ìjọ gidigidi ìrọ̀rùn gbàgbà orí àbáwọ́ ẹ̀fọ́ ìdílé ló sọ. ààrẹ sọ ní kékeré lónìí ọ ìwọ̀n bá ń kékeré ara rẹ̀ nígbà tó o ti bá bàjẹ́ lẹ́sẹ̀. ààrẹ sọ ní ọ̀nà ìjà ń kékeré náà ẹ̀rọ àgbọ̀ mi ló bèrè yìí wọ́n ní ẹ̀kọ́ ń bọ̀ ní ìjà ń kékeré náà àgbà àtẹ̀yìn nígbà kan ìdílé máa wá wọn àwọn.
I feel highly honored to deliver to Governor of Lagos State, Governor